Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Be Healed Webshow. I am your host, Camille R. You can also call me the birthday girl. Not to, well, you can say happy birthday today if you want to, but my birthday's tomorrow. This is my birthday eve. That's right. May 24th is the day that your life got better, one way or the other. You just didn't know it. But if you're watching the show, you kind of know now. So happy birthday eve to me. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to get some announcements said, and then I'm going to tell you about my guest for tonight. But listen, I am so grateful and thankful to see another day, and the Lord blesses me to see tomorrow. I will be living for 39 years and counting, and I'm grateful. To God be the glory for the great things He has done. All right, so that's my one announcement. Let's get into some just housekeeping. Listen, if you're watching for the very first time, welcome to the Be Healed Web Show. What took you so long? If this is not your first time and you're back again, I'm happy to have you, happy to see you. Love you much. Get in the comments, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, YouTube, get in the comments, share. We want to hear you as well. And definitely want to have you support our guest that's going to be on tonight. So if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure that you get notified next time we're online. If you're watching on Facebook, share and share alike. It's always good. All right, so that's housekeeping. Of course, I'll talk to you towards the end of the show regarding the Be Healed store, the conference coming up. That'll be towards the end. But I want to get into my guest that's with me on tonight. Now, you all know that I'm a part of the finest sorority in the world. That's right, the finest. We might not have been the first, but we show the finest. Okay, so I'm a glad member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and I have been blessed to meet some amazing people. And I think that's the beauty of being a part of any organization, whether it's a fraternity, sorority, any type of different group that you might be a part of, your church, your family, for your friends, college, alumni, you name it. Anytime you can meet and entreat other people, it's wonderful. And I got a chance to meet this young lady. Her name is Miss Tina Weber. I call her Sora Weber, but I got a chance to meet her because we're working together on a regional call, because we're getting ready to have this wonderful regional conference in June over in Las Vegas, and we're excited about it. And I was listening to her, and we were talking, and then she began to share a little bit, and I was like, I need to have her on my show. Yeah, she got it. She has a story to tell. And so not only is she my sorority sister, but she's been a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated since 1995. That's right. 28 years and counting of service, sisterhood, finer womanhood, scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. And I'm excited for her. She's a mother of two, one child in college, another one heading to their senior year next year. I mean, she's a state employee working for the Department of Motor Vehicles. So if y'all need anything, you might want to holler at her. I'm just saying. Okay, just but be respectful, because she's here to do a job today. She's here to tell her story. All right, but she's a woman who loves life. And when I asked her what was she taught of her life tonight, if someone could, to talk to you about your life story and where you are right now, what would you call your life, that chapter? And she said, living and dreaming vibrantly. And I'm excited to have her. So can you welcome her in? We'll talk more about where she pledged from, because we got to give shout out to all of that. But I wanted you to welcome her in. She has a very contagious laugh. So welcome, my Sora, Miss Tina Weber. So good to see you.
Hello. Hi. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening. Good evening. I am excited. So you said that you back at Fresno State in 1995?
Yes, that is true. Good Lord.
Absolutely irresistible Alpha Iota chapter. Is that correct? No?
Absolutely irresistible Alpha Iota chapter.
Yes. Listen. Look, Tanya, I don't know if you're saying my hair or Tina's hair. Either way, thank you, sis. We love the compliment. Listen, I love that. Okay. And so now you also mentioned that you're the charter member. You're also the charter member for the Tau Sigma Zeta chapter over there in Fresno as well.
That is
So
absolutely correct. Again, yes, it is.
you have definitely left your mark in a lot of ways already, and so I'm excited about that. But tell me a little bit more about you. Tell us all about you. Who is Tina Weber?
I would say, if anything, I'm a friend to everyone. Now, I
Yes.
do recognize some of my friends should actually be acquaintances, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I believe if anybody has ever read the poem, The House by the Side of the Road,
You know we did.
I know. But that is just sometimes that's exactly how I see myself. Like, let me just be a friend to you. Let me be a friend to you. Let me be a friend to you. But then, sometimes you have to watch yourself because every friend is not a friend. So if you haven't learned that lesson yet, learn it. It will
Right.
save yourself. Okay.
Get
But
a
yes. hmm Yes. Lesson hard to learn, but learn the lesson. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that you said you're a friend to all because I think that's something that people miss out on.
hmm
People miss being friendly. I know that there's an old adage where it says if you want to have friends, you must first show yourself friendly. So when I hear people saying, "Oh, well, I don't have many friends," I'm like, "Well, how you looking? How you talking? What you doing?"
Right.
And then if it's maybe you have a lot of associates, a lot of compadres, different people that are just in your vicinity, that's one thing. But then you should have I think everybody should have a good collection, maybe a small collection of trusted
Yes.
individuals that you can say, that's a friend.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
look, I don't know who Pay Me is, but I love her name already. She said, Pay Me. She said, you're an amazing friend. So there's already testimony given out. And good evening to each and every person that's already tuned in. Lisa, Dolores, who I call Mama Two, Sister Mary, Tanya, different ones. So good to see you. All right, let's jump right in. Living, dreaming vibrantly. What does that mean?
Initially, when I came up with that, it's only because, it was that phase, the vision board.
Mhm.
And for me, it was just a reevaluation of my life because, we are going to have that discussion later on, but it's just because I was going through so much, it was a time for me to reevaluate.
Okay.
And then the one thing that I have been learning, and I'm still learning, and I am still a student in this, is that sometimes you just have to reprogram yourself.
Yeah.
And with that being said, and I don't mind sharing it as well, like I do have bouts of depression. So
Mhm.
from time to time, that is what the therapists tell us. Like, you have to consciously
Mhm.
reprogram yourself and have positive thoughts, positive affirmations.
Yeah.
It is work, but it is something that you really need to practice on. So when I came up with that, it's like, how do you want to live your life?
Okay.
What are your dreams? Are you fulfilling your dreams? So therefore, that's how I came up with live and dream vibrantly, because that's just it. If you don't envision
Mhm.
how you really want to live your life and you letting all these outside influences hinder you, that's just what it does. It hinders you. So you have to, well, for me, I have to live and dream vibrantly in order for me to make it through. So
That's
that
good.
is how I really came up with that phrase.
Good.
Mhm.
That's good. I love that. I love that. I love what you're saying as regarding understanding the outside influences because those outside influences are just that outside,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
sometimes we let those outside become inside.
Yes. Yes.
And like you mentioned, reprogramming, resetting, reaffirming, and that's I love that. I love that. So shout out to Nicole because she was like, "Oh, my name is Nicole, not just Pay Me." But I'm like, nah. I feel like Pay Me is a good name to have. It
It
lets
is.
people know what's needed to be done. It's a
Yes.
command. So, you mentioned that you were going through quite a few things. I know you shared with me privately, and I know we were going to talk about tonight. So, how has your health journey been? And I'm sure that, that journey, what was the beginning of that journey to bring you to where you are now?
Well, audience, basically, I have been dealing with what is called intracranial hypertension syndrome. And how it all started is I was just getting headaches, just out of the blue. Now, it could have been just been, stress or work or family and kids or what have you, but it was just too frequent for my comfort. Um, so how it all started is, I just went in for a doctor's appointment,
Mhm.
doing my regular checkup, checking on my eyes, and that is the very starting point. They saw something. My optic nerves were swollen. Now, of course, he didn't say anything right then and there. He did refer me to a specialist, and the specialist, of course, saw something he didn't like.
Mm.
So, of course, you're going to try to do your tests. You're going to try to figure it out, what
Right.
have you. And that was very trying, if that's the word, if I'm trying to be polite. It was very, yeah. So once they did come up with this diagnosis, and the one thing I really want everyone to understand is ask as many questions as you can,
Right.
whether it's stupid or, again, just because that's why you're asking a question, because you just don't know.
Right.
Um, so, of course, I didn't really, I felt like I was asking all the questions, but then it's like maybe I should have did a little more research so that way I know other questions to ask. And yeah, it led to brain surgery. And what it really is, or what it is that I'm dealing with,
Mhm.
is for whatever reason, I am producing more brain fluid than regular. So, of course, it was putting pressure on my optic nerves, it was causing the headaches. And yeah, we try to do some other stuff, medication that I just didn't like. Not to
Mhm.
say, but yeah, I'm not a really a medicinal person. Yeah,
Got you.
I like taking all those pills and what have you. So of course the medication wasn't working. So yes, I ended up having surgery, and
Mhm.
that entails with them placing a shunt
Mhm.
in my head to drain the excess fluid.
Right.
Now, one of the questions I didn't ask, because all they said is like, oh yeah, recovery 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks ended up being a year.
Wow. Wow.
And with that, it was physical therapy, speech therapy. I had a nurse who would come and check up on me, and I was not even prepared for any of that, because all they said was 6 to 8 weeks of recovery, and I'm just thinking, oh, bed rest. But that did add to the depression. Okay,
Mhm.
because I am a single mom. I did have my mom out here.
Mhm.
I had my sisters come and visit, and then of course, a few
Mhm.
relatives at the same time. But again, with me being a single parent and not really a true support system,
Mhm.
it added on, because I'm like, how am I gonna get the kids to school? Who's gonna pick them up? Who's gonna cook food? Boo, 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 boo. So for me to go through a year of recovery,
Mhm.
yeah, it I think if anything that added to the recovery,
Right.
and it led to a longer recovery.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then if anyone is not really familiar with that,
Mhm.
what that is again is excess fluid putting pressure on your brain. Now, ultimately, we still haven't found out a reason why, but just with some of the things that I have been through, or my own research, is of course is overweight women.
Mm.
Um, it is in regards to your vision. So if any time you do have any type of impairment with your vision, definitely go ahead and check that out. But there's no real reason.
Mhm.
There's no cure for it. So ultimately, you are looking at a regular patient.
Mhm.
That was one thing they didn't tell me about as well. Okay, so that's a thing that I'm gonna have to deal with. And with that being said, that also led me to a second surgery. So again, it just reiterates that I am going to be a regular patient because
Right.
at this moment in time, there is no cure. Because of course, there's no real reason as to why this is happening.
Mhm. Wow. I did look into that, and there's, well, one, it's so interesting when we talk about the human body because, man, scientists can only do so much. Doctors can only do so much. But looking at just how the brain is made, how our bodies are formed and crafted, there's multiple speculations. And so, they always say you got to be very careful when you Google or WebMD something because it can give you a litany of things that you start to be paranoid of. But it is something to take caution of because it said, some people have developed IH from having a stroke, a ruptured brain aneurysm, a head injury, a tumor, abscess, meningitis, encephalitis. All these are, but then you're also saying like you just produce it. None of these things have happened to you. So
No.
it's not like you're a run of the mill candidate. So someone might hear you and they might be feeling those same headaches, the same pressure pain, and they're being told, oh, it's a migraine. Oh, it's a tension headache. You just need to take Excedrin. Or,
Yes.
you need to stay away from your computer so much and lay down. And other things could be happening,
Yes.
you
And
know, and then what?
right. And then just for me to say this out loud, like it's very important for you to be in tune with
Yeah.
your body because we're not all the same.
Mhm.
We're all going to react differently to different things. So it's like if you haven't figured it out, like you really need to be in tune with your body because my symptoms, which may sound like yours, but it
Yeah.
may be something else. So yeah, I think if anything, we all need to be in tune with
Yeah.
our body. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that because I do believe that intuition where
Yes.
you like know something, it's just no, I'm not okay. I'm not right. Things that is very heavy. So definitely be in tune. And go, and I know we're in mental health month with the month of May and mental health awareness month. And when you're mentioning about adding this, your recovery time, adding to your depression, I think people don't understand that depression and anxiety is very common.
Yes, it is. And I am an advocate of mental health. So for it to be this month, blessings to you. And if you are dealing with some things, please seek help, seek
Mhm.
therapy. There is nothing wrong with your mental health. If anything, don't even think of it as you being selfish. Think of you as being self of yourself because you do. It still goes right back into what I said before. You need to be in tune with your body, mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
Once you get to that point, I promise you, your life will be so much better because, again, whatever it is that I'm going through, and it
Mhm.
may sound similar to yours, you need to know, again, like how you said, your intuition, that gut feeling, that inner voice, whatever it is, listen to it.
Mhm.
Don't ever think of mental health as a negative stigma because there's so much going on right now. We all need therapy. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Nothing. I
So
mean that.
wholeheartedly, especially coming out of COVID.
Yes.
Well, let me not say coming out of COVID because COVID still exists. It's still real. It hasn't dissipated. It's still a real thing that we have to focus on. But from being shelter in place, from being under lockdown, from being in a digital world for the past almost 3 years,
Yes.
um, during your surgeries, I take it those were all before COVID.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So since your surgeries and now you're definitely on the mend, you're living, you're vibrant, you're moving forward. When COVID happened to now, did you find yourself kind of getting into that where you were more concerned with your health as regarding maybe a pre-existing condition, this being considered a pre-existing condition, or were you just more so I'm just going to stay close to home because it ain't, I'm not going outside. There's no need. What
I would
was
say
your
I would say a little bit of both A and B.
okay?
Um, Mainly because if anything, it did prepare me
Mm,
to stay at home. Okay, because that's exactly what I did during that whole recovery. I was home. I had the specialist come and help me with my therapy and my speech and
mm,
physical therapy. So in a sense, it prepared me, but I will say yes, it did add a little bit more because even though I would say, yeah, I was getting comfortable, and I will say even now, I'm still comfortable being at home. And I'm
mhm.
not saying that I'm paranoid or anything, but it's just like, you know what? I've been through this. I
Yeah.
can do it again. Let me know for sure when we're out of the zone. Like, that's just how I feel. Like, tell me when this is truly over. And maybe, not to say that I'm losing myself, but like I said, if anything, I definitely just got more comfortable. But I would love to not have like a little panic attack when it is time for me to go outside,
Right. Right.
or not have to worry about road rage or COVID rage. I'm not trying to make up no names, but that's just the one thing I'm seeing. It's like it's so much rage. I don't
Mm,
want to deal with that. I stopped watching the news, and like I just need that positivity right now. I don't need that, none of that negative stereo um insanity that's going on right now. So yeah, I would
absolutely.
say a little bit of A, a little bit of B. I do recognize sometimes, and I do have my friends who do remind me, Tina, at least just go outside and walk.
Right.
You need that vitamin D. So obviously that vitamin D from the sun is very important.
Right. Right. Right.
It is. But yeah, I do. I will admit, even to today, yes, I still struggle. I do. Mhm.
I think if all of us are more honest, we all do. You know, we might be going outside or we might be going to various places, but we still have, different blocks
Yes.
set up in place or different boundaries. I'll just call them boundaries for that matter. I do have a question for you. You know, going through that time in your life, what did you notice with your children, or have you all as a family discussed that, what their thoughts were when seeing mom in a different state?
Well, with my son, I think he did understand. I
Mm,
really do. He did take on he definitely took on the role of the big brother. Like if I
mhm,
needed someone to go pick her up, my daughter from school, he would do it. Um, Definitely took more in regards to chores and responsibilities. And then, of course, if I just needed the rest, he let me have my rest. So I definitely and forever will call him my teddy bear. He is my calm in my storm, and I just love him to pieces.
mhm,
Now with Tiana, I think, yes, it did take effect with her.
mhm.
Her grades
Yeah.
started to slip. Um, Definitely had to have conversations with her school. And I think, if anything, I will acknowledge that I did not truly prepare her for that. Um,
Mhm.
of course, you try to do as much as you can to protect your kids, your children.
Right.
Um, and I just didn't think at the time she was ready for
Right.
that conversation, you know. So, as much as you try to be that mother,
Mhm.
and you try to be as protective as you can, I wish I would have did it better. I wish I would have did better. Um, yes, I did have my support system, but of course they were coming in from out of town, so
Mhm.
I don't have my regular support system.
Mhm.
So I will admit, yeah, I think she did. I really think she didn't handle it, and it's not for her to handle,
Right.
because she was. I think the first one was when she was in, I want to say fifth or sixth grade, fifth
Okay.
or sixth grade, yeah. And then, of course, you always have your rules like, okay, we're not coming in the house with nothing less than a B minus. I'll let you slide with a B minus.
Right.
Okay. We are going to college. Okay.
That part on scholarships.
Yes. Exactly. So,
Absolutely on scholarships.
yes.
Absolutely. You
But
know.
But it was wonderful that her school was willing to work with her as well as her
Yeah.
daycare. Like, people were still there to support. So the school was able to work with us, and we had to come up with some contracts because I
Mhm.
recognize her. I recognize me and her. She is very active in school. And I'm like, well, that's all the more reason why it's called extracurricular activities,
Right.
honey. It's extra. You still got
Right.
to maintain these grades. So
Mhm.
now that she's a teenager, we're having the same conversation. But
Mhm.
I mean, that's just life. It is just life. So, you just have to figure it out the best way you can and make it happen one way or the other. So, yeah. But yeah.
Absolutely. I love the fact that you mentioned I can see the passion that you have for your children. Truly a heart of a mother, that's passionate about her children, and your son stepping into the role, and then understanding that, when you mentioned that your daughter wasn't prepared, and to be honest, you weren't prepared because, like you stated earlier, there possibly was questions that you didn't fully that you could have asked, but in reality, we do know there's a disparity oftentimes in the medical field as us being patients and women of color. So we are mindful of that too, and because there's no set, everybody responds to the medicine, to the treatment, to the surgeries the same way. Even doctors, I can't speak for all, but I would imagine even giving grace to them, they're just doing what they're trained,
Right.
what they believe, right? But there's
Yes.
always an anomaly. There's always a difference. And so, but also understanding that you all went through that together
Yes.
and brought you all closer to where you are now. This is great. So what is next for Tina? What's next for you?
Well, as you mentioned, our fantabulous sorority,
Mhm.
that's pretty much where I'm really seeing myself. The one thing my mom, when we had one of our discussions, she was just like, you really need to find something for yourself.
Yeah.
You can't be a mom all the time. Okay. You can't be a sister all the time. You have to find something that brings passion and joy within your life.
Right.
So, right now, for me, it is going to be my sorority. It really is. And the one thing I'm really recognizing is the opportunities that are coming my way. As you stated, we talked, you gave me the privilege to be on your show.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
I'm honored that yes, we are going to this conference and I'm able to help out, help put it together. But yes, I am just fully involved with my sorority. I'm
Mhm.
trying to find some other avenues here for me. And if anything else, really, is to reconnect. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is definitely with my family. I know sometimes I do give them a hard time because, again, I
Mhm.
got comfortable in my home, what have you. So I got to go travel to see my family, but I know I'm always welcome home. It's never an issue with that. It's just, I just need to get out the house. Okay. Um, and then definitely to reconnect,
Mhm.
to build my network because I really see the opportunities coming my way. I cannot let the fear, the
Mhm.
doubt, or even the anguish, like, what am I getting myself into? I cannot let that hinder me anymore. I will admit sometimes I do deal with that, like, because sometimes it is hard for me to say no. I need to ask 20 questions before I say,
Mhm.
yes, I'm willing to do it, or yes, I'm willing to help you out. But if anything, it's just, again, for me to network or
Mhm.
build up my network a little bit more, reconnect, and
Mhm.
again, live vibrantly. That
Yeah.
is really the next step for me, to live vibrantly because I just feel like sometimes we do get in a rut. We
Mhm.
do. And
We do.
and sometimes, not to say wallow, but deal with it. But then remember, you still got to get out of it. So yeah, I'm a true advocate in regards to that. Go through your emotions because those are your emotions and you have to go through it. But don't wallow. Don't
Right.
don't do that because you will get stuck.
Mhm.
And once you get stuck, it's just going to be harder, so much harder to get out of. So
Right.
yeah, deal with it. I will say that, deal with it, but definitely learn the lesson
Mhm.
experience the experience of it all, and then let's go ahead and rise up to the next level, the next plateau, because I really think that's what life is all about. You learn your lesson, and then you move on to the next plateau.
That's good. That's good. One of my one of my Merino Valley College, I would imagine this is definitely one of my students. I'm trying to remember. Said he or she said they were the first person to call me professor. I'm like, ooh, my memory. I know it was my fall 2022 class, but they're saying it's okay, Tina. When I rarely say no, I get in trouble. Be true to yourself. Wonderful humility, and thank you for sharing your story. And of course, thank you, it looks like Gixer Squid for tuning in and sharing. But it's saying no is definitely something that we have to lean properly on. And I like what you're saying regarding life being, go through one challenge and to the next. And that's truly what it is, because, every round we should be going higher.
Yes.
The things that kept us, like, for example, when we were kids, learning how to tie our shoe, that was a big feat once we learned how to tie our shoe. Then it was like, okay, learn how to write in cursive, which this generation knows nothing about. Learn how to write your name in cursive, right? And then from there, it was, like every mile marker we had, right? It was something new that we had to overcome, had to travail through, not to mention our college years, not to mention life and relationships and passing of loved ones and you name it. You spoke earlier about friendships, and that there's some hard lessons that you'll learn dealing with people, right?
Mhm.
Whether good, bad, friend or foe, hey, we will all go through that. When you mentioned about so important about living vibrantly and moving forward, and you're saying not to wallow, the illustration in my mind came into being on an elliptical and finding your rhythm on the elliptical, to where
Yes.
you're still exercising, but you found your rhythm where it's almost like you're coasting,
Mhm. Yes.
you know.
Yes.
So,
And that's just like when I was having this discussion about life with a friend as well. We were both pretty much saying the same thing. Like, you have to go through what it is that you're going through.
mhm,
Now, sometimes you don't learn the lesson. What happens? You're bound to repeat it.
right.
You're bound to repeat it. And then once you learn the lesson, that of course is when you move on to the next level. I don't think a lot of people get that.
Mhm,
And I think, if anything, again, just for us to even talk about that and seeing how some people do not get it, but some people do, I
mhm,
just want people to understand that life is that. Life is supposed to be experiences. It's
mhm,
supposed to be lessons,
mhm.
because we're not just supposed to be stagnant. We're not
Right.
just supposed to be comfortable. Okay. I mean, to a certain degree, once you reach that certain level that you try to accomplish,
Mhm,
but that it just never ever sat right with me to be at this level when in my head I'm at this level.
right.
Like, what do I need to do to get out to these steps? And sometimes, yes, I'm a hard-headed person. I don't have a problem with saying that I am a prodigal daughter to our
Mhm,
Lord and Savior, but that's only because He knows who I am. So He's
right.
like, just let her learn the lesson.
Mhm,
But in order for me to do that, yes, you do have to go through the trials and tribulations. And yes, sometimes you're just going to have to learn or repeat the lesson until you fully get it. But for me, that's what definition of life is for me. You have to go, life is just experiences. And I think we all should have experience that are benefit to your life. You shouldn't have the same experience like I have, because
absolutely.
we are two different, totally different people. So,
Absolutely. My dad always says there's taught sense and bought sense.
mhm.
And so we have a advantage, to learn from the people who went ahead of us, right?
Mhm.
Of what not to do or what to do. And sometimes we might be like, okay, it didn't work from you, but doesn't mean it ain't gonna work for me.
Right.
And we can play that 50-50 Russian roulette type thing with that as well. And then there's times where, and then we have to buy that knowledge, because now we're experiencing it firsthand for ourselves.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so but that's the beautiful thing. And I love what you said, prodigal or not, that God knows you.
Yes, he does.
And I wish more people understood that, yes, he does know you.
Mhm. He
Yeah,
does.
He knows you.
Made you. So how
Yeah,
can he not know you?
that
Mhm.
part. That's so, when sometimes people feel like, oh, I'm disappointing God. No, disappointment happens when the person is entrusting you to do something and they don't believe you're capable of.
Mhm.
Now they're disappointed.
Mhm.
He knows your capacity, your limitations, your frame, your dust. He knows that. So you can't disappoint the one who knows what you're capable, able, and willing to. He knows.
He knows. He do.
So
'Cause he gave you the gifts to do it. So how could he not know? And why would he be disappointed in you? Now again, if you ain't learned the lesson, okay.
I mean, but it's
But
just
it's not even a disappointment with him.
right.
He
No,
just
it's not disappointment. It's just like, hey, come on back. I knew what you were going to do.
Mhm.
I know you're not ready. I'm gonna dust you off and let's do it again.
Right. Yes.
And so that's the grace and mercy of God. That's that's one of the many reasons why I love him so much, because he's so gracious, merciful, and kind to
Mhm.
us, even when we don't deserve it. All right, we're getting ready to wrap up. I want to do some rapid fire for you.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm going to give you two options and you pick which one you would have. Okay.
Okay.
Which one is greater to you? Which
Okay.
one is greater? Okay.
All right.
Books or movie?
Movies,
Okay. Water or land?
land.
Okay.
Mhm.
R&B or jazz? It's
Let's go
rapid.
with R&B, but I'm still going. I love all kind of music, so I'm sorry if you want me to pick one. I can't. I love music. I'm just a music fan. If you don't know now, you know. I can.
Okay.
Yeah, but R&B. Okay, R&B.
Okay. No problem. No
But
problem.
jazz on a rainy day. How about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. Cooking at home or going out to eat?
Now you ask me that question. Now it's hot. But no, I do. I love cooking, and it's only because of my grandmother. She definitely taught me. I have a picture of her in my kitchen. Yeah, it's cooking at home. I do, but I got to be in the kitchen by myself though. So
Okay. Okay. No problem. No problem. Cat or dog?
I've been thinking about dogs lately, so I'm gonna say dogs.
Okay. Perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect. Tall or short?
Tall.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And this one, my last two are pretty probably basic and everybody would know where you're gonna go with this one. Let's see. Strolling or stepping?
Steppy.
Okay.
Mhm.
And of course, blue or white?
Blue. That royal blue. That spectacular blue. Yes, Lord.
I couldn't even bring myself to say any other color. I was like, blue or white. I
Girl, if
no,
you was to see my closet, you will understand. So anyway.
love that, love that. Well, listen, Tina, it's been such a pleasure to have you on tonight. I love conversing with you. Anyone who might be dealing with any type of medical, let's just say any type of health.
Mhm.
I mean, because I do know that there's people do have an aversion to physicians.
Yes.
So if there's anything that you feel in your body, your mind, or your soul that needs attention, do not give the attention that is needed to that said space. Is that
And
fair? Is that a fair way to
it
say
is
it?
fair. And I will even add on, when you do so, be an advocate for
Mm,
yourself. Yes, doctors can only do so much, but you have to be clear and concise. And if some of the
mhm.
things that they're saying is just not sitting right with you, there is nothing wrong with seeking a second, third opinion.
Right.
You truly have to be an advocate. And if you should ever allow me to come back, we could talk about that even more so, because that was another thing I had to deal with. So definitely learn to be in tune with your body if you haven't done so already. Seek out the help. And when it really comes down to it, be an advocate for your health. because nobody can tell you how you may feel. All they can do is just look at the textbook. You have to be clear and concise with whatever
Mhm.
it is that's going on with you. Because we may have all the same symptoms again, but again, it may not even be the same thing. Be a true advocate for yourself.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. So definitely take the time and invest in yourself, as Tina has shared. Ask the questions, advocate for yourself, and be willing to go to the distance for yourself because you're worth it. You're worth it, you know. So I love that. Where can, if anyone wants to maybe learn or inquire of you, where can they find you? Should they email? Should they Facebook? What is your preference?
I'm definitely on Facebook. And again, my name is Tina Weber.
Two B's.
Two B's, yes. We'll talk about that later on too. But no, it is two B's. I do. Even though you asked me the question about books and movies, yes, I do read. I need to catch up on some things, but that was the one thing I learned about that Weber name. So yes, it is two B's, and I say it
Yeah.
proudly whenever I tell people. So yes,
Yes. I have quite a few Carl Weber books in my repertoire. Yes.
yes, yes.
Great writer. Well, listen, it's been so good. Tina, I hope to see you again, not just in June for our awesome 90th Pacific Regional Conference, but leadership conference, but hopefully at the Bless Me Indeed Women's Conference for Be Healed. That's right. Ladies, August 25th through the 27th. The Be Healed Conference is happening right here in Costa Mesa, California, not too far from the beach, literally maybe about 3 miles up down the road from the beach. And so hope to see each and everyone there. Register at behealedconference.com. You can do so. You can do it today. You can do it via Eventbrite. What you are, Member Planet, you name it. Just go to that link, click, and have fun. Registration is yet $99. Have an awesome speaker in the person of Pastor Latanya Blake Allen. Tina, when I tell you she's a wrecking ball, that woman good. And she real, she fun. We're gonna have a good old time. I'm excited. We got a lot of fun activities planned. But as well as Tina, did you know we have a store? Did you know Be Heal had a store?
No.
Sis, I'll have to send you the link. I got to send you the link. Or, people can follow right there at etsy.com/shop or Be Healed INTL for international. If you want to just type that in, you can, or if you can go to the Be Healed conference site, you can click shop now. It'll bring you right to it. But definitely check out the Be Healed merch because listen, I believe, and sis, tell me if I'm wrong, that sometimes we just need encouragement on an everyday experience. So whether it's on a phone case, a journal, a shirt, a tote bag, a mug, it's just something that can encourage, inspire, uplift in an everyday item, it's worth it.
It is.
Well then,
Treat it as your affirmative, your daily affirmative.
yes,
That's how you should
yes,
use it. So yes, you definitely need to check out this merch. Okay, get
thank
it.
you.
If
Yeah.
nothing else, I am definitely a supporter in all who do their own business. So don't even worry about that. I will spread the word even more so here for you. I got
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate it. I'll text you the link as well. But listen, I appreciate sis you stopping by and sharing your story. And trusting Be Healed myself to be a place where you can share your story and even, dialogue and help someone else know, like, hey, get out there, get the information, advocate for yourself, but as well as from a mental health awareness month, it's no harm in saying, hey, I need to talk to somebody. There's websites like Better Health. If you don't want to go face to face, ladies, there's Her Therapy. There's so many apps that are available where you can be able to be seen. But if you need a friendly face and a voice to talk to, you can reach out to myself or to Tina directly via Facebook or any type of email system, and we'll be more than happy to walk with you, share with you, and remind you of the jewel that you are. All right. And that goes for male and female alike. But until next time, Tina, you heard me tell him already, my birthday's tomorrow. So as I prepare to come up your way, I just want to tell you thank you for making my birthday eve so fun.
It is an absolute pleasure. That is my joy to
Yeah.
you to do this with you. And again, I'm just thankful that you even allow me to share this space with
Sure.
you.
And you're gonna be back.
I know, I
you
know.
gonna, you gonna be back. Listen, we talking about advocacy. Come on back.
Yes, yes.
Like I said, we're not gonna be that blue room. We're not gonna be that blue room. But we can maybe do a blue edition.
Yes. They don't know what we talk about.
They don't know. They don't know. See, this is why this is between me and you, just us girls. But it's so good to see you. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Continue to support. If you would like to support and give to Be Healed, you can scan that code, and that'll be a blessing to the Be Healed Web Show as well as to the conference, because we're just trying to do the work of Him who sent us while it is day, because God knows night is coming and we got to make sure we give an account for what we've done. And that's all I'm trying to do. So until next time, may God bless you. May God keep you. Tina, hang out with me for a second so we can deep dive into some things. And then for our viewers, tune back in, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel, here with the Be Healed Web Show at 7 p.m. on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, you name it. We own it. All right. God bless you. May God keep you. Take care.